It is a privilege to be able to share with you today. Tim is still in the hospital in Roanoke, but he's doing much better. They will give you a little more detail later, but hopefully he'll be out in a day or two. Just keep praying for him. And you might not even have to listen to me next week, okay? If things go well. God works real good. But it is good to see you. There's a lot going on, and I challenge you to get involved, not to wait to be asked to get within a small group. Where's Kathy Bean? She's still in here. Kathy's got a group going on Sunday nights. It's not a small group anymore. It's turned into a large group of ladies that are meeting on Sunday nights. So if you would like to get involved in the War Room study, that starts tonight at 5:30. Be meeting for several more Sundays in the renovated auditorium upstairs. The guys and anybody else that doesn't want to be part of that will meet in the Midpoint Room. Lawrence will be leading us there this week, so I challenge you to be a part of that. Wednesday nights, if you're not coming on Wednesday nights, come and join one of our groups. We've got a group meeting downstairs. And then one meeting in the renovated auditorium on Wednesday nights for adults. A lot of things going on with the kids. I see Carolyn made it back. You all must have been late last night. Okay, but thank you so much. She was in Chesapeake with a group, and James Keaton is at Johnson University with another group of our kids. So we got a lot going on, and just so blessed to be able to minister in many ways. So I invite you to do that. If you're a guest, we welcome you here. We're so glad you're with us, and I hope that each of you today, maybe during the sermon is the time to do it. You agree to fill out the connection card. If you're not taking notes on what I'm trying to share with you, then at least fill out the connection card today, okay? But let's move on. We're in, if you did your homework, hopefully you did. Hopefully you're reading along. We're in John chapter 13. But before we go there, I want to share a little story with you. Any coon hunters in here? Anybody ever hunt coons? Steve, have you ever been coon hunting? Steve has. Anybody else? Okay, we've got a few. Gary back there has been. All right. Ron, all right. We've got a few who's been coon hunting. Oh, several. The hands keep flying. All right, all you guys, come on up. No, you don't have to. But I do want to, I had a friend in Abingdon. Dennis was his name. A couple buddies that coon hunted. Never did go with them. Never really understood why they go out in the wee hours of the night, taking a bunch of dogs in the woods, running coons, trying to run a coon up a tree, or at least find a coon in a tree. But they did that. And Dennis was this guy's name. He had a .22 rifle that he thought was the rifle of rifles. He never missed a coon. Just made a small bullet to take that coon down, and he'd take one shot, boom, there he'd fall. And he was proud of that. Well, Joe decided on this coon adventure that they were going on that he would change the sight on his guns. So he changed the sights, whereas when he aimed over here, that gun was shooting about 6 inches lower. So they get out, the dogs are running, and they get on the trail of a coon. Sure enough, they got a coon tree. Coon's up in a tree, and they're looking at it, and old Dennis is thinking, okay, one shot, this coon's down, bam. Nothing happens. He shoots that gun 2 or 3 more times. The coon's still sitting there, shoots it again, and now the coon's getting agitated. He's like, man, you're making a bunch of racket. Here I'm in a tree, and he didn't shoot him. Coon comes out of the tree. Down tree. Joe's standing over here, boom, there jumps up on Joe's head. Dennis said, I've got it. Pulls up the gun, starts aiming. Joe said, no, aim higher. No. Sometimes we need to aim higher in life, don't we? That's not a true story. I'm sorry. Man. I had you going for a minute, though, didn't I? You can share that with somebody someday. But life is like that. I think we need to aim higher. I think we need to set big goals in life. I've always been about that. To set goals, set ahead, try to build a team. You see, man, we're surrounded by just a host of singers, musicians, choir. You guys teaching one thing after another. Just a lot of people and a lot of goals have been set for this body, this congregation to move forward, not for our glory, not for simply numbers growth, but for God's glory. That's Tim's goal. That's my goal. That's the elders' goal. If we move forward to glorify God and the body to grow, and through that, man, we'll just have a big old group go with us when we're taken up to heaven in the sky. But we need to set goals. But we jump along here in John chapter 13, and Jesus teaches us a lesson about aiming higher. And if you think back over these past 12 weeks, we're already 12 weeks into John. We had missed 1 week due to snow. But I started asking myself, this life in His name, quote unquote, how are we doing? How are we doing with this life in the name of Jesus? I ask myself that. I ask you that. You know, if you want to grade yourself thus far through 12 chapters of John, how do you think you're doing? Is your life, worthy of what Jesus is teaching us to do? If you look back to chapter 1, Jesus was the great teacher there. He taught his disciples and he led them to follow him to a life in his name. John chapter 3 reminded me that Jesus took time to be with the Pharisees. And we say, what? The enemy, the opposers, the one who was saying, oh, Jesus this, Jesus is that. Remember who it was? The Pharisee named Nicodemus in chapter 3. To teach him that he must be, born again. Amen. He must be born again. And he took time to show him the true life comes being born again in the name of Jesus. We went on to chapter 4 and something else. We're like, wow, I can't believe Jesus did this. He took time to be with the Samaritan woman. Of all things for him to take time to do, he stooped to take time to be with that Samaritan woman and to show her true living water. Water that only comes through the name, through the life, through living a life in the name of Jesus. He had compassion as he healed the man on the Sabbath. Remember that in chapter 5? He took time to heal that man. Even though others would point fingers, oh, you can't do that, it's a Sabbath day. Jesus took time to show that man true life comes in his name. Chapter 6, he fed the multitude, fed the disciples. He helped the disciples on the dangerous waters. He was there for them. He showed them that life in his name means taking time to be there when you're needed. Chapter 8, he found another woman in sin. She was caught in adultery. Did he turn away from her? No, he didn't. He told her, you're living the wrong life. You need to clean yourself up. But in doing that, he showed her that living life in the name of Jesus was the way to do it. He took time for her. The stories go on and on and on. We looked at Lazarus and how he showed compassion to that family and raised him from the dead. And then last week, the example that was shown was Mary was there. True worship was shown. She put away all of the worries, all of the cares of the world, and she just stopped and she just worshiped Jesus. I think she got what living life in his name was all about. She had that close bond with him, but that's a challenge to me. So how am I doing? How are you doing? How is Stone Memorial doing? How is the Church of Christ, the Christian Church? How are we doing? Living a life in the name of Jesus. But it's a pivotal chapter here in chapter 13. Won't you read along with me? If you've got your Bibles, you can open to chapter 13. We're going to read verses 1 through 5 just to get going. And there's a lot in here. I'm not even going to cover some of the most important verses that fall at the very end of this chapter, but I wanted us to take for just a few moments and look once again. We looked just about a year ago, but once again at what was going on, the early verses of John chapter 13. It's on the screen for you. Verse 1 says, it was just before the Passover festival, and Jesus knew that the hour had come for him to leave this world and go to the Father. Having loved his own who were in the world, he loved them to the end. The evening meal was in progress, and the devil had already prompted Judas, the son of Simon Iscariot, to betray Jesus. And Jesus knew that the Father had put all things under his power, and that he had come from God, and he was returned to God. Get that? I mean, just think about that position right there. He was at the power of powers. He thought about that. It says, so he got up from the meal, took off his outer clothing and wrapped the towel around his waist, and after that he poured water in a basin and began to wash his disciples' feet, drying them with a towel that was wrapped around him. Of all things to do in his last hour, he chose to take the job of the lowest of lows, to wash the dirty feet of the disciples. Think about it. It had been a long day. Jerusalem was packed with Passover guests. They were dying to catch a glimpse of the teacher. Many of them were at that time. And if you can just imagine a normal spring, not like today, but a normal spring day, it'd be warm. The streets would be dry. The disciples were a long way from home, and a splash of cool water would be refreshing on their old, dusty, dirty feet. And it reminded me, if any of you ever have spent July the 4th in Central Florida at Disney World, walking through those parks, your feet just burn to no end. I remember one year I was crazy enough to wear flip-flops to Disney World during the heat of the summer. My feet were so hot, a splash of cool water would have been great. So you can just imagine where these disciples were. And in Jesus' day, the task of washing these dirty feet, like I said, was for the lowest of lows, the low servant. But in the totem pole, if you had one, and you started coming down the totem pole of servants, this was the one that was on the bottom. He was the one that was going to kneel down, and he was going to clean up, or at least clean their feet, give them a nice cool splash of water. So why in the world do you suppose Jesus, in his power of all powers, in his reign of all reigns, would stoop this low? Especially, what I thought was interesting about this story is he knew that he only had a few hours to live. Left here on this earth anyway. He was going to live eternally. He only had a few hours left. Now, if you only had 24 hours left in your life, if you knew that today, that 11:15 tomorrow was going to be it, what would you do with your last 24 hours? I read a poll. Some said that they would do bucket lists like things. They jump out of the plane, they would go bungee jumping. I don't know if that'd be me or not. I don't know if I want to be jumping out of a plane. That was the last thing I was going to do. But others said they would eat till they couldn't eat anything else. That's up there pretty high, I guess. Would forget the diet, just eat it all. Some said they would spend all their money, buy up everything they could, wouldn't have any money left. Others would say goodbye to friends. We'd want to do that, wouldn't we? One said they'd write a letter to their kids and to their grandkids, telling them to get the most out of life and be prepared. One said, I'd pray for forgiveness. Well, it better be one thing. We better be ready for an we'll meet our Maker. And the other said, I'm going to spend the day with my family and the ones that I love the most. And that's probably something that most of us would try to do. We try to wrap ourselves around those we love the most. Jesus chose to do that. He had those 12 that he had invested in, and he was going to continue to invest in, and he was wanting to get them ready for the big mission that was ahead. He chose to spend some time to love them to the end. But to wash their feet was to love them. It just, throws up a bunch of question marks for me. I just don't get it at times. But can you truly picture with me for just a moment? I don't think Jesus just had them lined up on the pew here and he went by washing their feet hurriedly. I think Jesus knelt down. I think when he washed their feet, I think he looked up into each one's eyes. And I think they had a special connection right there. He didn't have to say anything. I don't think he had to say a word. I think he washed their feet, and I think he looked into their eyes, and I think they could see the love, the compassion, and the care that he had for them. That's what I think he did. Because Jesus was one of love. So, those thoughts, foot washing is just something that was common during that day. Yes, it was, but it goes far beyond that, because you see, Jesus is still washing feet today, isn't he? In a bigger way. Think what all he did. He took the beating, he took the nails, he suffocated to death for us. I don't think we really get that sometimes. But he still wants to clean today. He still wants to show that compassion today. Can you stop for me for just a moment and just think about those thoughts of where he was and how that shows true life in his name? It goes beyond what I can imagine. There's a few things I want us to consider. We're going to move along quickly today. As Christians, as a church, I think it's very important for us to look for opportunities to wash feet. You say, what? Maybe not literally, okay? But there are people all around us. You know it, I know it, whether it's in the workplace, whether it's in the schools, wherever it is, there's folks out there that need us to stop. They need us to take time just to look into their eyes and say, you know what? God loves you. And I care about you. And I want you to know that. We don't take time to do that. I don't know if it's pride. I don't know what it is. If it's awkward. I realize that. It's awkward in the workplace. It's awkward in the schools. It's awkward wherever we go. And I'm telling you right now, folks need to know that Christ loves them and he's still in the cleaning business today. What about the rehab centers and nursing homes, the shut-ins? Those I think are a little easier. I see a lot of you guys doing that. Taking time to visit, taking time to send a card, taking time to give that person a call, whatever it is. Those folks need to know that Christ is still in the cleansing business today. And I think it's of utmost importance that we look for those opportunities to wash feet today. A couple things come to play. I think we need to really look at our own lives and say, okay, to do that, I've got to be humble. Humility comes into play big time. That's not easy. I think we've got to have that compassionate heart, and I think we've got to be willing to sacrifice. Got to give up maybe 30 minutes of Sports Center to, do something else for somebody else. Got to be willing to sacrifice. And if you put that humility, if you put that sacrifice together, then that's going to be showing true love, even to the end. Some of these folks may be at the end in their life, just like Jesus was getting ready to leave. Wouldn't see these guys again. They need us. But what about, I want you to think about this. Those things I think are easier. The nursing home visits, the sick grandma, or whatever it is, all those things will be easier. But what about washing the feet of those that we don't like? Or they don't like you? Maybe a little extra dose of hot water. Scald their feet just a little bit, Don't think they were using hot water, were they? Using cool. I'm sorry, I'm getting off track. But point being, we've got to be ready not only to look for opportunities for feet to wash, but look for opportunities to wash the feet of those that oppose you. That's not easy. Listen to what, and I want you to think about this for just a moment. Max Lucado wrote this in one of his books. He said, you can be sure that Jesus knows the future of these feet he is washing. These 24 feet will not spend the next day following their master, defending his cause. These feet will dash for cover at the flash of a Roman sword. Only one pair of feet won't abandon him in the garden. One disciple won't desert him in Gethsemane, and Judas won't even make it that far. He will abandon Jesus that very night at the table. He says, I looked for a Bible translation, get this, that reads, Jesus washed all the disciples' feet except the feet of Judas. But he said he couldn't find it. It's not there, was it? What a passionate moment when Jesus silently lifts, and think about this, he silently lifts the feet of the betrayer, Judas, and he washes his feet just like he washed the other disciples' feet. You ever thought about that? He didn't pick and choose, but he washed the feet of the one that in just a few moments was going to betray him. Now that's a challenge. For me it is. To take time for those that maybe have crossed our paths, maybe have said something that we don't like, to choose to give them the same love just like Christ did the disciples that night. Look at verse 21. He felt the hurt. It says in verse 21 of chapter 13, after he said this, Jesus was troubled in his spirit and tested, and he said, very truly, I tell you, one of you is going to betray me. One of you is going to betray me. But he chose to wash his feet. I don't know if I could do it. So how can that apply today, you say? What about making amends? Anybody out there ever had somebody that you've had conflict with that you feel like, well, I can't even look at that person. I cringe when I see him. Well, I'm telling you folks, division. Division within families tears them apart. Division within this family can tear us apart. If there's division, we need to take care of it. We need to take time and say, okay, hey, I'm going to wash your feet just like I would my best friend's feet. Not easy, but I think we need to do it. What about reaching out to those who are living a life of sin? Jesus, John chapter 8, the woman caught in adultery, he reached out to her. He said, I'm not getting involved in that. Sure, don't get involved in their sin. But at least I think we've got to take time out of our busy schedule and out of our good old padded pews or desk in the office and realize there's a world out there that needs to hear the gospel just as much today as it did then. And we may have to come out of our comfort zone to go. Jesus showed, John is full of examples that he went where others wouldn't go. Sure, the Pharisees standing up on the side of the streets, but Jesus went. And I think that's a challenge for us today. Step out of our comfort zone. Those folks that we need to make amends with, those folks that are living a life of sin, quote, unquote, they need the gospel just as much as we do. And if we think they don't, then we probably need it more than they do. And in church, we're going to feel some pain. Just as Judas chose not to follow him to the end. But yet, we've got to move beyond that and do what Christ told us to do there in verse 15 is a pivotal verse there, I think, in chapter 13. If you look at it, it says, I have set an example that you should do as I have done for you. I think he's maybe a little bit deeper right there than just washing those feet. They've seen the examples, the things that he's done. They've been around his teachings. They've seen him get around the Samaritan woman. They've seen him go and heal the people that we were like, oh man, there's no way, there's nothing left for them. They're doomed. No, they're not doomed. Through Jesus. Can't we possibly see, folks? Jesus says, forget your pride, forget your status, forget all this stuff, and follow my example. My example of aiming high, stooping low. That's tough. Very tough. It's hard for me to really grasp. But I think that the biggest lesson I learned from this chapter is one that I've overlooked many times, and it goes down to verse 38. You know, the chapter is so full of teaching that we can't cover it all, but I like what Peter, or Jesus asked Peter this very important question right there in verse 38. Peter was so wrapped up in the fact that Jesus was leaving and asked him where he was going, and in the heat of the moment he says, Lord, I'll do whatever it takes, I'll lay down my life for you. And can you imagine Jesus looking into Peter's eyes right then, and Jesus said, will you? Will you really lay down your life for me? You know the rest of the story. What do you think? Where are we, church? Thought for just a moment. If Jesus, and he does know each of our thoughts right now. He knows what we're thinking about this foot washing idea, about this cleansing idea. What's going through our minds? Oh, that's for somebody else. Sure, that was a thing they did back in the day. He'd find us having some doubt, I would think. Would he find us in our thoughts saying, well, that sounds good, but let somebody else do it? Would he find us too worried about our own needs and our own wants? Would he ask, would you really lay down your life for me in my kingdom? Would he have to ask us that question? And I think if you look at that question, maybe it's not about literally laying down your life, but it's sacrificing, it's humility, it's meeting the needs of others, it's bowing down right there and being willing to wash the feet of those that have offended you, those that have caused trouble in your life. What would he say to Stone Memorial as a whole? Would he find 1 out of 12 is going to betray him? Would he find 2 out of 12? 1 out of the 6? Basically, if you look at Peter and Judas, out of that 12 close group that he loved so much, 2 of those guys were either going to betray him or deny him. Would he find that here? Oh, I pray he wouldn't. I would pray he wouldn't. So what do you ask? Would you really lay down your life for me, Stone Memorial? Would you really give up your selfish desires to seek kingdom growth? Would he say, I see you having a love that will go to the end? Would he look at us with those stern eyes and intently saying, will you really do that? Jesus showed the example when he bowed low. I think the example for us to learn from today is for us to bow low when we aim high in the kingdom. To offer ourselves in worship and to truly wash his feet with our tears. You know, I get very emotional at times when we're singing this song and I'm thinking about this is Christ that did that. But there's such a challenge for us today to bow low. We bow low. We bow low. Our faces down to the ground in your presence, Lord. And with our tears, we wash your feet. We bow low, falling on our knees. And we bow low, cry, forevermore. And we bow low, we bow low, our faces down the ground in your presence, Lord. With our tears, we wash your feet, and we bow low, falling on our knees. We bow low to the King of Kings. Church, I hope we get that. Hope these words have made you stop and ponder today, and stop and take the challenge. Am I truly bow low at the feet of Jesus with my life? And if not, maybe this is the time we take and we come to Him and say, God, I haven't, but I want to. I haven't, but I'm going to. If you don't come forward, I hope that at least that will be the penetration of your heart today, to stop and think about that. Ultimately, I hope that each one here today is a Christian. We've repented of our sins, and we've confessed Him as Lord, and we've been buried in that watery grave of baptism, and we can rise anew, that we all can say that we've done that. We're walking that new life, and we're going to do better to bow low for Him. But if not, this is your opportunity as well. Why don't we stand together? If there's any decision you want to make today, this is your chance to do that. And we've got elders here. I'll pray with you. They'll pray with you. Just come today if you would. We say all to Jesus, I surrender.